Hey guys, it's Saf here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Now, I want to do a quick video on this latest update about the Hydra Clash. We've been anticipating that Hydra Clash is going to get some adjustments based on the roadmap that we had around quality of life. And this was the last remaining aspect that we have had no information on so far. So this should bring to a conclusion their initial quality of life roadmap. And they've just released the update 9.1 highlights. For some reason, the update is like a week and a half or a week or so after the fusion at the moment. I think it's just because of the way that Siege has kind of worked its way in. And I have to say, we have some issues and some positives. And this update is kind of solving the problem, but in the most like complicated and over-the-top way possible. It's a little bit like when Siegfried was updated and it just didn't quite hit where we wanted to be and they kind of made other problems. So we're gonna have a look at that today. We've also got a raid digest to have just a quick breakdown. So this is a bit of like a raid news style video. Obviously when 9.1 comes out with all of the changes, including things like the Nobel changes in terms of the damage multipliers, we will absolutely do a full patch notes breakdown to really dig into everything they're changing. But let's first talk about Hydra Clash. What was the problem with Hydra Clash? Well, if you put aside the meta being the fact that Trunda's obscenely broken and you've got all these like exploitive behaviors in terms of like being able to make Yannicka work and Wixwell teams, and even to the point now where the power creep is so high that, you know, mythical champions with Teox are being able to like do stupid amounts of damage, right? So Hydra Clash is now a heavily, not so much exploitive, but you can cheese it, you can do lots of damage, and Trunda, it's got a bit silly. So if we put that aside, that's not really the topic we're talking about. What's the fundamental problem with Hydra Clash? Well, the problem is you can do really well as a clan, like push hard and work really well, boost, you can get a personal best, and then one person with a Nightmare Trunda team can come in and basically cause you to lose. But if 2 or 3 of those people across 3 different clans do it, you could end up finding yourself 4th. So you can spend potentially 2 hours to do, or even 3 hours a week doing 3 keys, working really hard, coming 4th or 5th, and essentially you get absolutely nothing for your Hydra Clash. Now you might be sitting here saying, well, you know, you didn't win, you shouldn't get anything. Yes, to some extent, but also when we look at other systems in the game, you always get something for your time. If you do clan versus clan, even if you don't win any of those accessories, you still at least get the clan milestone, so there's something to reward you for your time. You could say that with Hydra you get the actual Hydra rewards, but if that was the case, I could cut my actual Hydra playtime down to like an hour because I only need 36 million. I don't need billions of damage. So the biggest problem with Hydra Clash is this risk that when you play the game mode, you could end up being 4th or 5th and you walk away with nothing. So what clans have tended to do lately is they look at their matchups, they kind of keep track of all these big clans. And if they know they're facing a clan that's got crazy Nightmare Trunda teams, we all just kind of make this assessment where we go, do you know what, this week we're going to do only the absolute bare minimum we need to hit top chests of Hydra to drop our overall points so we get a better matchmaking next time. So you try to find favorable ways to matchmake, which in itself is not a problem because obviously you're sacrificing the rewards that you would get. But really, that should never be the case. The case should always be that you try to do the best that you can against the opponents that you can. And that way you then end up with a stable matchmaking system. Because actually what you're finding is the matchmaking system is unstable because top clans are basically tanking 1 week to make the next week super easy. And then you're creating like these sort of mismatch pairings amongst different clans. Now, what they have decided to do is instead of doing what I suggested they should do and what most other people suggest they do, which is just take the rewards for 2nd and 3rd and give them to 4th and 5th, take the rewards for 1st and give it to 3rd, and build better chests for 2 and 1. Because another main problem with Hydra Clash is you can do all this effort, you can come 1st, and then all you get is 5-star accessories. And for players pushing these ultra high-end Hydra Clash builds, you should never be rewarded with worse gear than you're using to play the game mode. And I don't necessarily mean like, okay, it rolled worse. I'm saying that fundamentally it starts off in a position that no matter how much you roll it, it's probably going to be terrible. So I absolutely think that's what they should have done. Just take all of the chests, drop them down 2 levels and create 2 new rows of the exact same combination of chests, but get rid of 5-star gear and give it more rewards. That way, even if we don't win the top 3, we still walk away with something for our time, right? You still get something. The incentive then to tank is not as much, but if a clan wants to take a chill, then they always will get something. And you still would need to contribute your 650 million points to qualify for the top chest regardless. So you can't just sit in the clan and get rewards for free. You still need to participate, but it would mean that everyone gets something for participating. Participation rewards are important because if people feel like they get nothing and they spend a lot of time, then people will stop playing the game. That is fundamental. So you don't want that to happen. That was the problem. So what have they decided to do? Well, it's a classic Plarium move. Now, the reason why I said this is like Siegfried's problem was, well, he's the only mythical you can't actually metamorph. He's the only one that you can't choose when you want to change his form. So a lot of people were like saying, well, that's the problem. We want to change his form. Now, most sensible people would go, okay, well, let's just make it so that we change the way that he modifies to the alternate form. Instead of it being like everyone has to be dead, maybe he changes form when he's about to die. So that means that you don't have to have such a niche win condition. Maybe you just allow them to change form whenever they want. That's not really a main problem. You know, sometimes you can conceptualize a design philosophy. When it goes into the game, it just doesn't work, so you fix it. That's not a problem. They didn't. They just basically ignored the fundamental problem and then made him like a stupidly OP single target to an AoE damage dealer with his A3, which was totally unnecessary, but that's what they did. And they were like, hey, we fixed the problem. Well, you didn't. You created a solution to a problem that we didn't have and then left the old problem there. And I feel like that's what they've done here. So what is going to work now? You're essentially going to have a 1.2 billion requirement. So they've doubled the amount of actual damage you need to do per Hydra Clash. Now you can store this across multiple Hydra Clashes, right? So if you can't do 1.2 billion, at least the system allows you to retain what you hit last time. It's not a one Hydra Clash solution. That's quite a good implementation, right? It means that if a player can only do 280 million, well, every month they get that top chest and then it resets. It's a little bit how the Centranos Cursed City chests work, where if you don't quite get all 100 candles, then you keep them for the next one and you keep working towards it. It's okay. But the problem is they've doubled it. So for most players now in sort of competitive clans like myself, we now have this requirement really to hit 1.2 billion to maximize our rewards. So they've doubled the amount that you need. You still don't get anything if you come 4th or 5th as a clan. The clan gets nothing. And now it's a case of if you come first, not only do you get the 650 million chest, you also get the 1.2 billion chest. So you're doubly rewarding the top clan, and you're only rewarding individuals if they spend the same amount of time. So what they've solved here is they haven't solved the core problem, is how do we reward people that don't win? And how do we reward participation? What they've essentially done is made it a system that tanking for your clan is not efficient anymore. That you don't actually want to tank, because what we used to do when we're trying to reduce our overall matchmaking is hit about 300 million per player. Enough so that you get your top rewards on each difficulty of Nightmare, Brutal, and Hard, but not so much that you would then elevate the Hydra Clash score. Well, this really isn't ideal because you don't want to, you want to get your 1.2 billion. So it means now we are going to have to, as a clan, always hit 1.2 billion. And I feel like this was like spending twice as much time. From a developer's point of view, they have basically spent probably 3 weeks having a tech artist come in and put this UI in. They probably had a UI artist build this system. They've probably had to go and create different chests. Look, there are different types of chests as well, so that's going to have to be encoded. They've probably coded all this brand new system when all we really wanted was give 4th and 5th and fix Trunda. They still haven't fixed Trunda. They still haven't fixed Hydra Clash as a concept. It's still a very time-consuming game mode. And they haven't actually fixed the core problem, which was 4th and 5th gets nothing. Now it's just you get something even if you don't win, which kind of does solve it. But it's almost like we spent 2,000 lines of code to fix it with 1 line of code, which that's all you needed to do. But there we go. That's just like a bit of a complaint, I guess. The actual positives from this system, if you can't hit 1.2 billion in 1 week, then you'll be able to get it over time. So you'll be able to spend 2 clashes. If you can do say you can only do 600 million, well, over 2 clashes, you'll get one of these chests, and that's great. The big elephant in the room here is how good are these chests? They say they're going to feature rewards like the Stoneskin and Protection accessories, but how many? Of what quality? That's the big question. We don't really know that right now, and we won't really know until we get one of these, because they tend to hide the odds and opportunities behind the server these days when they add new chests. So we'll have to see how it goes. I feel like it's an over-engineered solution to a problem that they didn't really fundamentally solve, because they didn't really fix Hydra Clash experience. But at least now everyone will always get something so long as you do double the amount of minimum points that you required from before. We'll have to see. Just a small note as well on these patch notes, by the way. They've talked about changing the summon pool events. Now, I don't know if that's going to be just prism shards or if that's going to be like progressive events, but we'll have to keep an eye on summoning events because they are going to modify them in some way. Now, just one other thing I wanted to talk about here was the raid digest that has come out as well. Obviously, they're talking about Hydra Clash milestones. They've highlighted the fact that they've even said the problem. We mentioned a while back that we plan to reward all players who performed well in Hydra Clash, even if they finished ranked 4th and 5th. They've highlighted the problem, and then they were like, we've created a brand new system to solve the problem. I'm like, you didn't need to create a brand new system. You just needed to give 4th and 5th rewards. I don't really understand it. I'd much rather time be spent on building new fun stuff and fixing things like Trunda than creating a third way of being rewarded within Hydra Clash that we didn't need. There you go. Siege, defense, teams, and gear. This is an important clarification. What they're essentially saying is once matchmaking begins and during the entire battle phase, your siege defense remains locked, meaning it can't be altered. I think what they're basically saying is the stats, gear, and setup of your champions, the moment matchmaking begins, becomes fixed in time. So you could strip the gear from all of your champions and it will not modify the defense that has been set. I'm guessing this is why matchmaking and reward structures take so long to set up, is because what the server is actually doing is creating versions of the defenses that you're facing so that that version can be fixed in time. And then it doesn't then matter if you modify those champions, right? If you decide to basically set your champions with really, really low speed, and then afterwards you want them for offense with really, really high speed, you can do that. And I think this is a really, really important thing to note. If you want a slow Shugen for your defense, but a fast one for your offense, then you can build it, lock it, wait for matchmaking, then change your gear to then keep it still the same in the defense. And that is what they're saying here. It's an important clarification. This next point absolutely made me laugh. I thought this was the most hilarious thing I've seen. Siege priority flags. We would like to remind you clan leaders, I'm a clan leader for my clan, and deputies, they may help their teammates arrange the defense of their fortress by marking specific positions and choke points with defense and resource flags. These flags indicate that players should set defensive teams or invest resources into the marked outposts areas. What a joke. What a joke that is. We're going to talk about that in a sec. Just to finish this off, no person was in CVC. And of course, they are fixing the technical problem with siege auras. I did say quite publicly that despite everyone's testing and theories and different ideas, that arena auras were not working in siege mode. And that is because Plarium confirmed it. The game code was quite clear, suggesting that the area location of siege was different to the area location of arena, so therefore it didn't apply. So technically the code and Plarium were both saying it didn't work, but clearly something is going on the server side that you can't see on the client side, which is obviously something I would never be able to see, that was causing arena auras to work. But to note, next siege, arena auras will not work. You only can use all battles, so make sure you update your defenses for that. Now, let me just go to the siege priority flags. So we're in raid here. As a clan leader, right, I'm a clan leader of my clan. Cool, I run this clan. I can actually help my clan by giving them instructions. So I can go into siege mode here and I can find this and I can say, do you know what? Defense Tower 5 is important for us to hold. It's kind of obvious. I can give an order. Right. That's it. Is that it? That's the flag that they're trying to tell me is super valuable. Defend a fort. That's useless. That is about as useful as telling 30 people in a queue who all have to pay for their food to come pay for their food. You would have carnage, and that is what we're having here generally in the siege mode. The biggest problem with organizing siege mode is there needs to be an allocation for everyone must win something, otherwise they get no rewards. So as a clan leader, I'm responsible for ensuring that all 30 members either get a siege defense or a siege offense win if they want the rewards. It's not enough for them to just be in the defense. They actually have to win a defense or win an offense. So I have to be mindful of that as a leader so that I don't let our clan run amok. Maybe one person decides to use all 3 of their attack scrolls and then there's nothing left for 4 players, 5 players. So that's one responsibility. The other responsibility is to make sure that the members of the clan that are confident are placed in high value areas. There's nothing in the system. What this should be is give order, specific order, and I would go to my clan member, right? So I could literally go to, maybe I go to my clan deputy here, which is like Carnifex, and I say to him, Carnifex, I want you to defend the stronghold. And then I can go to post 9 here, and I would give an instruction on post 9 to say, hey, Pain River, I want you to defend that particular post. I could give an instruction then for post 6 to say, hey, post 6, right, I want Lorraine to put a defense there. That's what that system should be flagging. Individuals defend this post. Because I'll be honest, asking 30 members of the clan to defend the defense tower is going to cause as much confusion as telling them nothing. So, yes, Plarium, I really appreciate the fact there is a system that I can give orders, but I can't truly give orders, right? I need to have systems that help me in-game. 2 things I think we should have. The system I've just said, I can instruct from the flag system a specific member of my clan will take the responsibility of defending a post. The other thing, when we're attacking, that a clan member can propose that they will attack something, and I can see what they're going to use and approve that attack request. Because the biggest challenge we've got is sort of 60% of our clan are confident in arena. 30% of our clan are not confident in arena, but they want to engage the game mode, right? One of the best things about Siege has been our clan is working together more than they ever have for the first time to beat the Siege attacks when we're in this attack mode. And it's quite good to see that collaboration and fun. It builds the relationship and community of the clan, which is very, very important for Raid. And that's one of the best things about Siege. The problem is we have to do it all through Discord, and there is no way for me to really know what they've got. So the conversation flow will go like this. Hey guys, we've got defense tower 3. This is the defense. Who wants to give it a go? Then we've got 3 people come up as I can do it. I can give it a go. Then the next question is, okay, what do you think you're going to attack it with? And then they go, oh, I can use this. Okay, how fast is your champion? This. And then because we're experienced, we know what we're facing here could have like a Yumiko 6-star. We're like, that 320 speed is not going to do it. They shouldn't be the one to do it. But the conversation chain of going, who wants it? What are you going to fight it with? How fast is your champion? That's just like 5 minutes adding to every single siege to make sure that the clan is successful. We also have to manage things like making sure that we don't lose too many times, because the tier is basically about how efficient you are with winning. If you take too many rematch scrolls, you won't actually promote. So when we're doing these decisions, we need to make sure that we have a consideration for how many losses we're taking for rematches, but also where are the enemy's strongest defenders? Because if I'm taking a path through and I'm using all my best hitters, well, by the time I get to Stronghold, we don't have anyone left. So again, as leadership, as the people who run the sieges, we need these tools to be able to prioritize which clan member defends which post and which clan member can attack which one, but not have these like long communication chains that we have to do outside of Raid. So a big, long way of me explaining. I appreciate Plarium reminding us we can give clan orders, but this is essentially useless. It has no value because me asking 30 members to go defend a post is going to cause more confusion than me just saying nothing and doing it offline. So there we go. That is the end of the video. Bit of an update. Hopefully we will get some information about how good these Hydra Clash chests are. Right now we're currently winning, which is great. We're going to win this chest. I would really like to see that at least the personal chest is of an equivalent value to some of these chests, because I'll be honest, if the personal chest is like this, it's depressing. It's absolutely depressing, right? I don't really want this kind of quality of rewards. I would like to see at least like, I don't know why we have to have 5-star gear, honestly. 5-star rare? 5-star, are they serious? Even at the top level, like 5-star epic is not good enough. Just get rid of 5-star gear. I don't know how many times I have to say it. So we'll have to see how good the chests are. At least they are trying to solve the problem. I just feel like they over-engineered the problem and didn't really they could have just given something 4th and 5th for some rewards. That would have been the easiest option, but there you go. Let me know in the comments below, guys. Do you like this new system? Do you know, how are you finding Siege? I will probably do a full video breaking down like where Siege is currently at. I know I did a lot of videos when it first came out. I kind of want to do like an aftermath after seeing 2 Siege results, because I wanted to see what the outcome of the tiering system was when we actually had a matchup we could win. So we've won one, we've lost one. It gives me a good position to make a judgment call on now. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, what are you thinking about these upcoming quality of life changes? And probably the next video that we'll talk about this will be patch 1.0 when it comes out, which will probably have some sort of juicy goodies in there, or new stuff as well, I hope. We'll see what happens. But yeah, let me know, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.